Earlier in this series, we talked about the importance of quality defensive tackle play for Jay Bateman's defense, really any defense. And this play shows another example of how that works in Bateman's system. Now, you'll notice right here that basically you've got a 5-2 front. I mean, this is very similar to the old Okie front where you just have five defensive linemen, the two stand-up outside linebackers on the defense or on the line of scrimmage, and then two linebackers, traditional linebackers, playing 4 or 5 yards off the ball. Now, take note that the three interior defensive linemen are all playing a little further off the ball than you're used to seeing from most defenses. They're going to be 12 to 18 inches off the ball as often as not in Bateman's system, especially when they're two-gapping. When they're two-gapping, you're going to see them 18 inches off the ball because they want the offensive line to have to spend a little bit more time trying to get to them and reach them while they're able to read that and then respond with power rather than the offensive lineman just being able to fire off and reach him. But what I want to focus on here is how the defensive tackles do the dirty work to allow the linebackers to make the play here. We're going to look at it from the other angle here to focus most of all on this. Now, pay attention to the alignment. You've got a 0 technique head up over the center. You've got 2 4 techniques that are head up over the tackles. And then what he does, the old traditional 5-2 Okie would have a linebacker here in the gap over the guard and here in the gap over the guard. But what Bateman does a lot is he stacks his linebackers behind a defensive lineman. And in this case, they're rotated their strength to the field a little bit because he feels like they won't be able to run into the boundary as well. So he wants to have this backer playing the trailing gap, each backer playing a little bit behind it and using that boundary as a 12th defender. But pay attention to what happens with the defensive tackles here as the play starts. Now, you'll see right away that this is just a straight zone left. This is outside zone left. And so basically what they're trying to do, they're trying to get a hook on this side of the end man on the line of scrimmage, so he's got to keep his outside shoulder clean while trying to compress the space. On the inside, everybody's stepping to their left, to the offense's left, and essentially what the defensive linemen have to do, these defensive linemen are all in two-gap arrangements, and their job is to keep the backers clean. Watch how each of these guys does his job. Right up front, he knows he's head up here. He sees the step to the zone. What does he do? He immediately gets hold of the tackle over him. Why? Not so much to make the play, but his job is to keep this backer clean because he's going to get combo blocked, and what he doesn't want is a guy getting clean to the backer at that second level. His job is to hold up these two guys, to just stalemate as much as he can these two guys, and just to make sure that he's not able to get a clean release. Same thing from the nose tackle here. They're initially stemming a little bit, you notice, to that weak side, but then they all recognize that it's zone to the outside, and playing a little bit off gives him a little bit more space to react. And what happens from the defensive tackle? First thing he does, he gets hold of that center and forces him, instead of being able to be passed off to the guard, which is what the offense wants, that center has to commit to blocking the nose just long enough for this trailing backer to be able to get into that gap. Now you have two backers that are unblocked because of just unsung dirty work by these defensive tackles. And the thing is, not only does this strong side tackle manage to hold up that left tackle, but then he is strong against that guard, holds up and compresses that space a little bit. And now you get these two backers that are flowing to the football without being blocked. They're able to close down that space. One of them makes the tackle, and you end up with a 2-yard gain, maybe a 1-yard gain. That's good team defensive football, and it requires some defensive tackles that are willing to be unselfish and to do the dirty work to make their linebackers look a lot better.